everybody, this is Chris. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, we're going to be making cards, but using something we usually never use in cards, and this is paper napkin. And it's so easy to do. And when you're going to do it, I hope you're going to do it, and please tell me so, you will see that the feeling is like velvet. It really has a wonderful touch to it, a wonderful look. It's matte, it looks so real, and at the same time, it's just not a picture that you printed out. It's something completely different. So I did one for fall here, and I didn't decorate that yet because the main focus here is the technique. I've done one for Christmas here with poinsettias, and also this one here with a very glossy and a holographic paper in the background. So you can use many things, and you might be surprised to see what kind of paper I've used for the background. The technique is easy. Normally what you do when you do paper napkin is paper collage. We're not going to use that at all. No liquidy stuff, because it needs quite a long time to dry. And what also happens is that you can tear your paper very easily, and also it's going to probably buckle up your paper if you just use liquid Mod Podge or things like that. So this is going to be much quicker, and you're going to be able to use your leftover napkins that you have for maybe any kind of occasions. It can be also for a children card if you have children napkins when you make birthdays or things like that. So there's a technique that I have tried and I didn't like it at all. It didn't work for me, is the iron-on. So there's a technique where you put a cardstock, then you put a cling wrap, and then you put your napkin on top, a paper, and you iron on. It doesn't work for me. Very quickly the napkin starts to peel off and it doesn't work. This is not going to peel off at all. And you're also going to put a lot of embellishments and use your hot glue afterwards. So what you will need for this, of course, is a card base. Then you're going to use a second card to put on top. So it's a card base, regular A2 size card. You can do this much smaller if you wish. So I already have my cards, and now we're just going to use the first layer. We're going to use only one layer for this technique. Then you're going to choose your favorite napkin. And if your napkin has got some wrinkles, don't hesitate. Use your iron. This one is really hot. It's a craft iron. There's no water in here. And just to make sure it's going to look nice, you can always iron it on and use it afterwards on it. And it needs to be a little bigger than your card, just because it's going to be much easier afterwards. So this one is good. All right, then what you will need also is another paper if you want to use a background. Like here, I've used a green background, so use any color you wish. And I've trimmed down my card here much more because I really want to see the background that I'm going to put in. And if I show you the background here, it's very simple and it's so cost effective. I found that yesterday in my local, not even craft store, just a store for Christmas, and it's wrapping paper, and it's beautiful holographic wrapping paper, and I've used that because it's about $2 and there's 7 meters or so, and it's so economical that I decided I was going to use this for my cards, and I'm going to use it over and over again for sure. And then I will be using some dies and stamps for my tag. Very simple, and a little bit of ink. So you've got your card here, then you've got your napkin, and the only thing you're going to use, and it's so fancy, it's double-sided tape. But there's something you should be aware of, and you've got to make sure that it's perfectly done, is that you need to put your double-sided tape really right to the edge and in the corners there, because otherwise it's going to lift a little bit. So I'm really trying to come as close as I can from my edge. And I might go a little over than my edge, and that's fine. I just want to make it secure and lift it, because it can tear. If it lifts a little bit, it's going to tear, or it might tear. And then I'm going to put a few layers like this. I'm not going to cover it up completely. So yeah, can you see that? There's double-sided adhesive all around, right up to the edge. And if it's a little over, I can always bring it back in, like so. So I'm sure it's not going to lift off. And then few strips in the center. You don't need much more. Then you're going to take your napkin, and it should be bigger than your card. It's going to be easier to apply. And I already tried to make it as straight as you can. You know, don't try not to put it like this on an angle. Try to make it as straight as you can, especially on this one because I've got some stripes. And either you put it straight like this, because I'm holding it in my two hands like this. That's one of the way you can do it. If you feel like you can do it like this, and let me see, I think I'm going to do it like that, and press down. And it's perfect. The other way you could do it, and I need to cut, and now, oh, I've got this one too. The other way you could do it is, let me use this card, is once you've put, again, all your tape, is just put it on the side there. Make sure it's really well centered as the way you want it. Always have your napkin bigger than your card. Again, start there and then press down slowly up to the other edge. Okay? You can do that as well. Use the technique like this. Straight, using all your fingers like that, or doing like that and then pressing down. I think my first method is, for me, easier, but that's totally up to you. I'm just showing you two ways you can do that. Right, so now there's no risk of tearing it at this point. Now you just take it over, flip it over, and you cut the excess off. I think I've got a little bit of glue here. So when you have glue or tape on your scissors, the best way to take it off is using acetone on a little cotton ball, and that's going to make it perfect afterwards. And if you need to sharpen it and you don't have any scissor sharpeners, well, use some kitchen foil, and you cut in it a few times. You should do that quite often, though, if they're not too damaged. If they're really old, I think the best way to go is either have a sharpener or just buy a new brand. But if you do that very often because you use them all the time, just the foil is going to do fine. Look at that. It's done, and it's beautiful, and it's quick, and you use your leftovers, and you can do this for any season. If you had, for example, now it's over, it's a bit too late, but next year with your leftover napkins for Halloween, you'll be able to make some cards with this. See how easy it is? Now I'm going to take my card base. So this is, as you can see, much smaller than my card base, and I'm going to take my paper, cut a piece here. I'm not even going to use my trimmer. Oh, and by the way, you know that this trimmer, I am just in love with this because it had this blade to cut, and this one is to make score lines, but Stampin' Up! Is stopping this cutting tool. And I am so upset because it works perfectly. I just can't find the blades any longer. They're supposed to make some more, and right now I can't really find any, and I'm going to have to buy another one. So if you know a good brand where you can find the blades easily, the refills, please share that with me because it's really not easy to find. I need to have a nice brand because I use it all of the time. So what I'm going to do is cut a piece of paper, my wrapping paper a little bigger than my card base. I just don't want to have any white border. And if I trim it just to the right side, I never make it. I'm always crooked and it doesn't work. So again, I'm going to use my double-sided tape, go right up to the edge. Oops. That's okay. And also here and there. That's fine. I'm going to do the exact same thing I've done before. Put it back. Oh, I forgot that part. Now I can put my paper on top. And again, cut the excess off. And I know it's going to fit perfectly. I maybe trim it a little bit too big. I've got a lot of waste, but I usually try to make it a little smaller. So I won't have any white showing, and it's just perfect. There you go. Be careful because this paper is really thin too. And now I'm going to, again, use double-sided tape. You can use dimensionals if you want to. And right there. There you go. Really easy. And honestly, this touch is absolutely wonderful. It really looks like velvet. People will never know it's a napkin. It's impossible, they know. So now I'm going to use these. I've done little cuts here with my die cuts to, I'm not sure. I think I might use the green one or the red one. I'm going to use the green one. Last time on this one I've used red. I'm going to use the green. A little bit of hot glue. And I'm going to put it right there. Oops. I wanted to make it here. That's nice. And I'm going to put another one on top. So I'll have more dimension. And I think I have a smaller one there. Or I'm going to cut it. You know what? I think I'm just going to cut it. And I'm going to cut it there. And again, center it. So I'll have a lot of dimension. And this die comes also with another die that makes little circles. And what I've done here, I went ahead a little bit and I've used my stylus and put them in shape, so it's going to have also a lot of dimension. And I'm going to use just 3 of these to make the holly fruits. I don't know how you call that. And because I've burned myself quite hardly a few minutes ago, I'm going to use these tweezers and put some glue in there. Put that one here. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And there. And last one here. I'm overlapping them a little bit. There you go. I might come a little closer. Okay. This is good. And now I still want something more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use something like Mod Podge, a paintbrush, or any glue will do for this as well. You don't have to use Mod Podge. And I'm just going to put a little bit of Mod Podge here, so it's going to shine later. I use glossy Mod Podge. And I'm putting Mod Podge also on my greenery here. And I'm not trying to be clean or very specific because I'm going to use fake snow. I want that little more humph to it, but you don't have to. If you really want to do a quick card, just put a tag, say Merry Christmas, and you're done. But I want something else. I want something more. And also here on that part. Okay, that's fine. And now I'm going to use my fake snow and just sprinkle some onto my greenery. And don't worry about the excess. We'll be able to put it back. Anything that has not stuck to it, we'll be able to take it back. You could use glitter also. I just wanted to use fake snow. I live in an area where we don't have snow, so I think I miss snow quite a lot. And in the past years, I was living in a very hot tropical country, so it was even worse. Sometimes we do have snow. It's just like if here it's about the temperature, I guess, of California. It's about the same, even though it's not on the same side of the ocean, but it's more or less the same climate, same temperatures, a lot of sun all year long. Even though it can be sometimes a little cold in winter. Okay. Pressing it well. And now I'm going to take the excess off. And that I will put it back into its container. You also have sometimes a fake snow in spray bottles. You could use that as well. Again, you could use glitter. But look at that. How nice. I like this fake snow. And now, last but not least, I am going to use a tag. I was offered in my mail recently some tags by some of you viewers, so thank you very much. And I think I'm going to use a thin tag. Is my stamp going to fit that? No way. My stamp is too large because I don't want to cover up my little Christmas tree. So I'm trying to find a tag that would have the right dimension. Let me see. I've got several tags in here. I can always cut it back if need be. I want something white though. Let me see. What do I have here? This one is too small. I think I'm going to have to go with a circle or oval shape. That's fine. Okay, so what color am I going to do that? I think I'm going to do it red. I'm going to use... And first, what I'm going to do, if I do my stamping red, I'm going to do my inking green. Glue everywhere. Oh, yeah, I'll see that later. And I'm trying not to be perfect. That's the handmade stuff. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And I'm stamping it in red. Okay. A few seconds for the ink to transfer. And that's good. I'm going to use 2 dimensionals here on the back. I want to have a little bit more dimension and volume. 2 is going to be enough. And I might put it just underneath. Yeah. That's good. And your card is done in no time. Again, it could be much quicker if you weren't doing all this decoration, but I think it's nice. And the main thing is that you have used paper napkins that are usually very difficult to use for a lot of people who are not used to it because you can rip it apart as soon as it's wet. When you're using your Mod Podge on it, for example, it's very hard to use except when you start, you know, I'm used to it, so I do that all the time. And if you remember, last year, and I will put a link on the video for that, I have used the exact paper napkins to do these glass plates for Christmas, you know, and I'm going to use these again because I use them over and over again. So you can see that the same napkins, I didn't buy any new ones, are going to be useful for many other tutorials, many other crafts, which is nice because I don't have to spend more money on things. You know, for a few bucks, maybe $3-4, I don't know how much are napkins in the United States or wherever you live. I have also a lot of English people from the UK or Australians that are looking at my tutorials. Tell me how much is a pack of 20. Here in France is about more like 4 euros, which is almost $4. But there's 20 in a pack, and let's see, yeah, there's 20 in a pack. And for example, in this one, they don't say it. Do they say anything? No, they don't say. Oh, it's $1. I bought that one. Look at that, $1.49. That was so cheap. That was when I was in the United States and bought that last year for holidays. Look at that. This is so cheap. In France, it's much more expensive. So, hey, look at that. Let me open this one and see how many cards you could do in just one napkin, and you could do a huge plate. Wow, you could do probably 6 cards in just one napkin. So I hope you will do this tutorial. You will do this DIY because it's so easy. The touch, the look of it is so nice. It's matte, but you can use a lot of things on it. You could use sequins also to decorate it, but it's so fun to do and so cheap as well, and using leftovers. So please, if you like this video, don't forget to give me some thumbs up. Don't forget also to subscribe and hit the bell button, and also leave me your comments or any video suggestions that you would like me to do. And tell me, would you do this one? Did you know this technique? Just using, I mean, it's so simple. Maybe you didn't even think about it, but it's really, really nice. Thank you so much. Take care and see you soon. Bye-bye.